Medfit Rehab founder Joanne James is a medical exercise specialist. Medfit Rehab, restoring strength and movement, making a difference in people's lives. 647-259-5481. Columbus Center, Athletic Department, Dufferin and Lawrence, medfitrehab.com. If you're suffering from a host of medical problems, diabetes, osteoporosis, neurological, cardiovascular disorders, or cancer, Joanne James, medical exercise specialist for over 25 years, can develop an exercise program that will make your post-rehab effective and inspiring. Medfit Rehab will provide a hands-on, professionally supervised conditioning program. Medfit Rehab, Columbus Center, Athletic Department, Dufferin and Lawrence, 647-259-5481, medfitrehab.com. Hi, Joanne. Nice to have you back. Winter has come back to Canada.
I know, Zelda. I keep wishing.
Not for long.
I know.
It's going to warm up anyway.
Yeah, it will.
Listen, 15 degrees Celsius is much nicer than 3 below zero or whatever it is. Okay,
and snow.
Here's a question that I don't think anybody before has ever addressed it, and I'm so glad that you have. It's a terrible thing to call someone fat. It truly is. It's derogatory. It isn't nice. People do it all the time. But can you be fat and fit?
Well, I guess it depends on your definition of fit. On
or
one
fat.
Hand, yeah. Definitely. I think you can be fit and you can be fat. But let's kind of look at it a little bit closer. First of all, if you are metabolically fit, and that's something I know people don't really hear much about. Metabolically being fit means you don't suffer from any insulin resistance, you don't have diabetes, you don't have low levels of good cholesterol, you don't have high triglycerides, and you don't have high blood pressure. If you don't have any of those, then you are generally metabolically healthy. But if you do have that, then obviously you're not fit metabolically. You have a low fit level for you're in a metabolic state of low fitness. So unfortunately, when people are really overweight, generally they'll have 1, 2, 3, or maybe all of these issues of diabetes and cholesterol and triglycerides and high blood pressure. And that's what technically makes them unfit. But you do have people that are overweight, considered obese, and are metabolically healthy. They don't have any of those. So the research has been going back and forth saying, okay, they're unhealthy, they're unfit. And then there's other research supporting and saying, you know what? If they are metabolically healthy, then their risks of dying are the same as your normal average person, believe it or not. So the jury's kind of out on this, but quite frankly, when you're exercising and you're working your muscles and you're strengthening them and you're toning them, you can be quite fit, and you could be fitter than a person that's normal that doesn't exercise, or somebody that exercises minimally and they're not doing much better than anybody else. So, yes, I feel that you can be fat and fit physically, but if you have any of those metabolic issues, then you're on the other side, which is then you're unfit. I don't know if that makes sense to you, Zelda. What do you think?
What I'm thinking about is that there are lots of people who are seemingly healthier with extra meat on their bones as opposed to people who are very thin. We talked about being skinny last time or the time before that. I just think if you look at someone, you'd rather see them trim, and I'm sure they would as well. But some people are big bones. Some people just have to carry more weight. But what does fat mean? How do you determine when a person is fat?
Okay, so when they have, if you look at your BMI, if they're over the 30 mark for the BMI, meaning that for their height and their weight, they're out of proportion. Or if you look at them and you see a huge amount of fat on a frame that should not be carrying that kind of fat. The issue is the visceral fat. That's the fat that's internal, that surrounds your organs. That's the dangerous fat, and most obese people have a lot of visceral fat. And then there's subcutaneous fat, which is just underneath your skin. So there's a number of ways to determine whether a person is obese, but one of them would be to get an assessment if they haven't had an assessment before. So the dangerous fat is the visceral fat which surrounds the organs, and that's what makes it obesity being a problem. But that doesn't mean that you can, again, we talked about that yesterday about being thin and over fat too, and having a lot of fat around your organs. That's dangerous as well.
That sounds to me that would be quite dangerous, right?
Oh, yeah. Anytime you have too much visceral fat, a high fat percentage, and it's around your organs, or it's around your belly where you have the paunch, not necessarily the muffin top. That's not a lot of fat to be super worried about. But when you have that paunch, a big belly, it's hanging there, yeah, that's something to be concerned about. That's a very bad sign, and it puts you at a high risk for cardiovascular health issues.
Well, I think that we have to be mindful. We need expert advice from experts like yourself. And so if you're in a situation where you don't know and want to find out, Joanne James and her team will make sure that you do. Thank you, Joanne. Always a joy to talk to you. Talk to you tomorrow.
Great. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Joanne James, founder and medical exercise specialist of Medfit Rehab, will improve your overall health through medical exercise. Contact Joanne James, 647-259-5481, Columbus Center Athletic Department, Dufferin and Lawrence, medfitrehab.com.